I recently published an article on Movistar riders and kind of their evolution as a team since picking up the trio of Symbiosis, Davigi, and Deaths um, from Iberian family. And I basically said they were quite a coin flip team, and I couldn't see them finding any kind of consistency, doing well in the tier one, and progressing past the point that they reached at Pro League, where they got that quarterfinal spot, which is with that 5-0 group stage run, with this game against Players being one of those victories, one of those 5 victories, and then immediately falling at the hands of Ents. But then, as soon as I published that article, more or less, they went on to win DreamHack Valencia in front of a home crowd. You know, an incredible win for Spain within Counter Strike. Um, and they're now doing very well at Cologne. A big 2-0 to 2-0 victory against Vitality yesterday, um, pushing them through to the group stage. And they play today. They're playing actually right now against G2. I have not looked at the score because I've been doing this. I've been thinking about doing this video, but um, either way, they're doing very well, and it's kind of proving me wrong a little bit. But wanted to do this video as a kind of supplementary piece to explain kind of some of my thoughts and perhaps why they're doing a bit better and whether it can last. Again, whether it can last, because I still feel like they kind of go like come and go in waves, the Movistar riders and their form. But this is one of the standout rounds for me that exemplifies their CT side play, which involved Mopoz and Alex kind of having this symbiotic relationship. Whereby Mopoz's positioning, I want to highlight Mopoz. I mean, look at the buy, right? 5-7, 2 Deagles. He's going very aggressive through cave. Death's kind of coin flips it. He was stuck behind the box on A, and he finds one kill on an A push. It's very clearly an A push, but it gets cemented by Mopoz's push up through B here. And you see him do this a lot on overpass as well, which I'll highlight in a bit, but he pushes out through B and finds all sorts of space. And what it does is it negates the possibility for players to rotate. And once we see this, Alex just fully rotates over from B himself, goes to A. He's already got a kill in the round. He's aware of a mid play. That's the kind of one area on the map that they haven't got eyes on. But he's aware of it. And we do have Hobbit creeping up, going into Donut. But the round slows down. And it slows down so much because of Mopoz's positioning. I mean, Gambit, they're a team that don't. They're a very static team anyway. But the rotate just can't happen, and it's because of Mopoz's position. And he pushes up a bit. He pushes up a bit further. And it just means it gives Alex this confidence to play how he plays in this round, which is to fully rotate to Temple and just not even worry about B anymore. And they win the round as a direct result. It's the first round win in the game, and it sparks a comeback that means they win this best of 3 series. And it's because of the Mopoz-Alex relationship. I'm going to move to Overpass now to highlight it a bit further. So here we are on Overpass, and with a round that shows that perhaps goes some way in answering why Movistar are doing better now and have found this form. Because they have kind of tempered their the hyper aggression of Alex and Mopoz, without sacrificing the relationship they have on the map, like within the round, within any given round. And that symbiotic relationship lasts even without hyper aggression. We've seen in this game, you know, what we see in this round is far more control, because you've got some players goes for an aggressive peek down con, falls back. They both fall back to site. They both accept, okay, we tried to gain space, we failed. We're not gonna push the issue. Meanwhile, Death finds the entry kill into B, and I mean, what we see is Alex then puts himself on an island on A. He's like, he wants to be here. If we look at the map state, we've got Alex on an extremity on A, and we've got Mopoz playing the extremity over on B. You've got the two players that I want to highlight as being the most experienced and intelligent, and having this relationship. They don't need to be on the same part of the map, is part of my point. They often want to be on opposing sides of the map, so Mopoz can say, okay, this is happening, and Alex can respond. They don't need to see what each other's seeing. That their communication's good enough, and that's part of it. Alex can communicate exactly what he's seeing in toilets, and he's not seeing much. He doesn't see much, and he doesn't go hyper aggressive. What I've seen a couple of times from Mopoz on these overpass games, they've struggled on overpass as a map. have Movistar. And it's partially because Mopoz loves to go up through B, and it works so well at times. But in this game, for example, Mopoz and Davy try to push through Monster, and it led to this 1 round loss. So, it's a coin flip strategy. But you see in this round, the relationship stands. The B hold can stay because Alex is seeing nothing. Alex is informing the B players, specifically I think Mopoz. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like the communication goes between those two, and he's informing them, okay, I'm seeing nothing here. The B play is likely. There are only 4 players on the map. It's unlikely there's a lurk player. They can't really fake too effectively with this amount of players. So the play comes through. Davy pulls first contact. Mopoz already has the molly out and he finds the first 2 kills. Bomb in his hand. The round is done. He gets the smoke down. There's so much utility left for the Riders. Death still has a Molotov to stop this push, and there's only 27 seconds left. This smoke goes about 18 seconds left in the round. The molly goes down. There's no time. The round's done. And it's because they had that 3-man setup. They had that. They could keep that triangular hold on B. And Alex was far enough up on A to mean that even if he took contact and it was an A play, the amount of time left in the round, the rotate could come through without Movistar worrying too much. They could get up to the positions, possibly even get out to truck on side, play in front of the smokes. They had enough utility to cancel a bomb plant still. They had that molly, even if the play didn't come out B, they had that molly that Mopoz used. Then Death's molly is also still in play. Another smoke. They had enough tools to retake A. So Alex could come up. He could inform them nothing's going on. Hold that B, and then it leads to Mopoz getting this 2K that wins them not a crucial round, but quite a it wins them a round, takes them to 5-1, and it shows a more regimented Movistar that doesn't have to rely on out and out hyper aggression. Now, I'd like to move to Movistar Riders' T-side play. I called it unstructured in my article. I mean, much like their CT side, quite coin flippy. And I think this round shows why, but it also shows where it works. And part of this, in this round specifically, is their ability to rely on strong entry fragging and dry peaks, quiet walk-ups, and very limited executions into rounds. So how the round plays out, I mean, from the off, they have very limited utility. So they're kind of forced into a very dry exec that doesn't really resemble an exec at all. Norbert finds Davy G as well, which puts the round in jeopardy. They have 4 rifles, including the Orb of some bias, who's trying to peek into toilets as the round plays. But they have to do something quite tricky, and outsiders let them do it. Look how much map space the Movistar Riders have towards A. They have all of this. Norbert, I'll let the round play a little bit, but they have all of that A space, and it won't that fact won't change. Fame is here, and he will stay here for the majority of the round, looking here, but without the ability to view here, to view back Monster, which means Movistar Riders could be there at any time. And there's a round specifically against Vitality at Cologne in the game that we just watched that shows them dry walking out Monster. So it's a thing that they like to do for sure. Instead, the dry walk comes up A. So how it's playing out right now, James is holding this close angle. Flit is kind of a floaty flit between A and B, but he will reside A, and he will be here for the hit. And Norbert's playing this off angle, so Norbert's got no sight really onto A long until he takes the peak. James has no sight onto that's weird. James has no sight onto B short until he takes this close peak, so he only knows when people are going to be here in this position. Norbert only knows when people are going to be here. When they're there, the exec's coming, and there's nothing they can do about it. Similarly, Fame only knows when they're here. Kicker can take a long look, but he doesn't, and they don't get enough control of this area to be confident in the A to move Kicker up. Fame has to move perhaps through B lower or something like that, but outsiders do a very bad job at containing Movistar in this round, and it allows Mopoz to do this, which is just walk up completely dry, no flashbang, and he sees James, and he finds the instant headshot. The flash assist comes to Alex, but the peak's already been taken. It's completely dry. The smoke comes down, which is whiffed as well from Movistar. It's an awful smoke. So the exec is completely dry. It doesn't resemble an exec at all. It's just raw peaks. Deaths has a very good timing on Norbert long, which means Norbert can't swing, but he's also playing in a spot. He's not playing like here, you know. Oh, fuck me, what am I doing? He's not playing like here where he can swing long and take that peak. He's playing here, which means to get here to help his B short his toilets players, you know, the people actually playing on site, he has to cross, which allows deaths to kill him here. And he's in the setup's really bad from outsiders. But Movistar have the timing really down. They have the spacing really effective. Deaths takes this peak so Norbert can't swing. Mopoz is incredible to find, does incredibly well to find James here and flit there, and the play's perfect. The play is absolutely perfect for Movistar, but it's completely dry, and I think that's what I want to highlight. To end this video, I would like to stick with their game against outsiders in the grand final of Valencia on overpass, and look at a round that shows Movistar not saving, which is a thing they did a lot on their T side around the era of the demos that I was watching for my article. So kind of earlier this year in Cologne, there was a nuke game specifically. I remember them saving in T-spawn on nuke over and over again. And it later on in the year as well, I've seen them. Normally what happens is they'll take opening duels, they'll lose 2, and then 3 people will save. And the round's done before it's even really got going. And it was something that was very frustrating about Movistar, was that they put themselves in positions to lose opening duels so often and more than once in a round, which just meant the 3v5 wasn't possible. So what we see here is a different look, I suppose. Insofar as they have a terrible buy, which possibly pushes them to go for this play. It's 11-13, which possibly also pushes them to go for this play and not save. But they do have full armor and a very bad monetary situation, and Norbert finds the opening kill, so it's a 4v5. So they're in that kind of position where they may think about saving. If another player goes down, maybe a short player, the save may well come through. So what happens in the round? These B players kind of slow player. They look for a way back in. Death takes a swing. Looks for a spam. I think he may have spotted the player Dildo. The rotations from outsiders are very odd as well, looking at it. Very B heavy. Where the play's actually coming up towards A. And Deaths is rotating up through Con. You've got the bomb coming round on the back of Alex. And they join up. And they group up A. And you've got first contact being taken in the round by Deaths, who is having an absolute blinder, 17 and 13. Again, he's been fragging very well recently. But the save doesn't come through. They try for the miracle. There are 25 seconds left. There is one flashbang on some players. Deaths finds the kill over the smoke onto Norbert. And the push comes through. They're playing very far back, outsiders, which is possibly also their, the round is possibly also on them completely, because the bomb can go down and it's a 4v4 off one kill on Norbert, who was already low. He'd already taken the first peak. Kicker also is very slow. He's seen some pious already this round. Some pious has seen him, and he's very slow to take contact. The kill may come through for him, but it's just too slow. They push out bank. Death finds one, and Alex is left in this 1v3. And he finds 2 quick frags. And the clutch factor's there. There's just no time. There's just no time. If Kicker takes that peak earlier on some pious, and the whole retake is a bit quicker, it's easy as anything. But Movistar get this miracle round because they didn't give up and they didn't save. They didn't even look to save. They didn't think about saving, which possibly makes a lot of sense given the round state. And possibly I'm using the wrong round to exemplify this. But I think I've seen one T-side save from Movistar in all of the games that I've watched for this video. And that's quite astounding to me, because it was something that frustrated me a lot. So my conclusions, I suppose, would be Their structure looks far more regimented, both CT and T side. The communication looks better. They don't seem to be quite as disparate in their play. I mean, they still have these kind of rounds where they're lurking on lurking on lurking. They're quite split up. They're all looking for lurk frags. They play very strange, but sometimes they work very well. Um, for example, round 29 in this map, in this map, the Mopoz lurk gives them a free B site. But it's definitely more regimented, and there's more control. There's um, more of a passive temperament there, which kind of allows their really like their positive the positive aspects of their game, which is their communication, their phenomenal relationship, their unity as a Spanish roster, the pride they have as a Spanish roster, and their confident fragging, their incredible frag. Mopoz, when he's confident, is just unstoppable. And that's, I think, what's carrying Movistar on this wave of success at the moment. Will it last? I don't know, because their T sides still rely on these dry walkouts. They're very their execs are never that impressive, And can a style like that survive past a short peak? I don't know. I don't think so still, and I don't think they'll go much further in Cologne. That's my prediction. But it's really, really lovely to see them doing this well. And to have won Valencia is a phenomenal thing in itself and is enough for this roster to gain legendary status, really, within Spain. And I think within CS as a whole, I think they're a brilliant roster to watch. I think they're a great team to watch. And I really, truly hope my prediction's wrong and that they keep this consistency. And Deaths keeps this consistency. Symbiosis keeps this consistency as well and supports the two hyper aggressive veterans.